Hey guys, how's it going? My name is of course CatmanJoe and welcome back to another new Minecraft video on my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about a topic I've wanted to discuss for a while, which is 5 features Minecraft Realms desperately need to improve our quality of life when using them. And with Mojang recently releasing the latest feature for Minecraft Realms called Realm Stories, I felt like now would be a fantastic time to talk about this subject. So without further delay, let's just jump straight into the 5th most needed feature, which is increasing the player limit. For those of you who don't know, Minecraft Realms currently have 2 different subscription options which allow for different player limits. The first is the 2-player realm server, which allows 3 players to join, one being the host of the realm and the other 2 spots for friends. Then we have the 10-player realm server, which allows 11 players to join like before, one being the host of the realm and the other 10 spots for friends. But can someone tell me why after now a decade of realms existing, the player limit has never once increased? In fact, it actually has decreased. And yeah, if you thought you misheard me, you actually completely heard me right. Back when realms first launched on Minecraft Java Edition, they used to allow up to 20 players to join. Then one day, Mojang just changed that. I think many would agree with me when I say one of the biggest things holding back Minecraft Realms currently from being more of an alternative to say creating your own server is the restricted player limit. What's sad is back in September 2019 we got real leaks from Wild the Gamer of Realms Plus before it was even an actual announced thing, and even then it showed Mojang had plans to increase the realm limit to 15 players, but later when Realms Plus was released they changed the text to say it was only up to 10 players. I found a fascinating post on feedback.minecraft.net from way back in 2018 when someone had actually suggested that Realms should have more player count and yearly subscription options, which was and still is under review, meaning Mojang likely did look into it but abandoned the idea. If you ask me personally, I think we should have the current choices and a 20, 30, 40 and even 50 player choice. Make the subscriptions increase in price the higher the player count and let us have more friends join. Of course not everyone will use the higher options, but there will be those few who do, so give them the choice. Going back to what was mentioned in the feedback.minecraft.net post about Realms, I think the 4th most needed feature is longer subscription options. Now this might seem like an unnecessary feature, but I do believe having 3 months, 6 months, and even a 1-year long subscription option for Realms would be a hugely beneficial thing for not only Realm owners, but also Mojang themselves. It would allow Realm owners to pay for a Realm one time and keep it running endlessly without having to care about money coming out of their bank each month, and it would give Mojang a lump sum of cash. Perhaps even another benefit to subscribing to a longer subscription would be a decrease in the price like with other subscription services. So for example, if you're a player in the US, instead of paying $7.99 a month for a 10-player Realm, you'd pay $46.99 for 6 months. Or instead of paying $3.99 a month for a 2-player realm, you'd pay $22.99 for 6 months. The longer subscriptions would only cost a couple of dollars less than what you'd pay monthly, but still would be a nice option. Now in case you're saying those numbers seem very specific, Joe, well that's because they actually are the original old prices of both the 10-player and 2-player realms if you bought the 6-month subscription. And yes, Mojang did have a 6-month subscription option for realms, but they removed it for no apparent reason. They also apparently had a 3-month subscription option that alongside the 6-month subscription option could be purchased in stores on physical cards, but sadly I couldn't find any photos of them online, only posts mentioning their existence. It's a shame, another useful quality of life feature was binned. Moving on to the 3rd most needed feature for Realms, it's got to be the option to change how often Realms autosave. This partially ties into the 2nd most needed feature for Realms, which is of course better security, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Realms have a default autosave time that is set to 30 minutes. What this means is every 30 minutes the game will automatically save, with the only way for you to force an autosave being to manually close the realm and then reopen it. The problem is that this length of time is not short enough to help realm players revert damages or mistakes without losing too much work. There is absolutely nothing worse than having your realm crash from either a mistake with the world or from a hacker and having to revert to a save that if you're lucky is from 30 minutes ago, or of course if you're unlucky is from even up to an hour ago. You and your friends end up losing a lot of work and time, which can be a seriously huge demotivator for everybody. So what's the solution here? Well, simply give us the option to change when autosaves occur. Make the default 30 minutes, but allow us to change it to once every 20 minutes or even once every 10 minutes. This small change would seriously help counter hackers on the Bedrock edition of the game feeling as if they've achieved something when they force owners of a realm to have to reset their realm, as the damages they've caused would not be as substantial. Speaking of hackers, let's talk about the 2nd most needed feature for Realms, and that has got to be better security. Realms since their release on Bedrock edition have been endlessly targeted by hackers and overall bad actors who have nothing better to do than to ruin the fun for others. It's gone to a point where there are actual Discord servers out there with these degenerates who gather together to brag about destroying kids' worlds, or even entire YouTube channels dedicated to hacking the realms of random streamers for no other reason than their own entertainment. I've personally been targeted by these people multiple times to the point where I've completely stopped now hosting public joinable realms, since that's the only way to stop these people. You hear from hackers that you should install anti-cheats to supposedly stop other hackers from hacking, but the reality is these anti-cheats do nothing to stop hackers from hacking realms. The only thing these anti-cheats do succeed in doing is changing the game mode of the world permanently to creative, so if like myself you exclusively play survival, then you're just screwed. As I mentioned a minute ago ago in the previous feature needed for realms, the easiest thing Mojang could implement that could potentially prevent some of the damage and stress that comes along with hosting public realms would be having the ability to choose how often the game autosaves. However, as always, the hackers can just continue to keep joining the realm endlessly and ruining it, so Mojang do need to come up with some sort of built-in anti-cheat for realms that can, of course, prevent fully these people from using the tools that they use to hack. Now lastly for today's video, let's talk about the number one most needed feature for realms, and that is Java and Bedrock crossplay. I know within a second of saying that there will immediately be someone typing in the comment section, Minecraft Java is coded in Java, Minecraft Bedrock is coded in C++, meaning they'll never have crossplay. But before you continue, what about community made programs like Geyser? If you've never heard of Geyser before, from its website's description, it is a program that allows Minecraft Bedrock Edition clients to join Minecraft Java Edition servers, allowing for true crossplay between both editions of the game. Geyser acts as a translator which sits between the Bedrock client and the Java server. It takes data from the Bedrock client and translates it into a format the Java server understands, and vice versa. Geyser works with any modern Minecraft version and can be installed either as a plugin or ran as a standalone program. I actually use it on my very own Minecraft Java server called the CMJ SMP, and although it's not perfect at times, it does work and means my Bedrock viewers can join my Java server. The reason I mention all this is because if crossplay between the Java and Bedrock versions of the game can be achieved by others, it can certainly be achieved by Mojang, and I'm sure at a better quality. But with that all being said, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did go and enjoy it, please be sure to drop a like in it, leave a comment down below, let me know if you agreed with my list of features realms need. Also, of course, be sure to subscribe and turn the notification bell to stay notified for when I release any new Minecraft videos on my channel. And other than that, guys, thank you all so much for watching this video, and hopefully I'll see you guys in the next one.